Shanti 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 Om Stapakaya ca dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya ca dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avataravariष्ठाय Ramakrishna te namaha Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate, who came to establish universal religion. Let us pray to him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, where Sri Ramakrishna has given number of instructions so that we may be able to cross over this ocean of worldliness. Today's topic I have chosen, how to be blissful and tranquil in life. Sri Ramakrishna said, once Keshavan Sen asked him, Sir, why do I not see God? This question has been repeated by so many people, even now people keep on repeating that. Even though the answers are given, still they keep on asking. But it's good to ask, because the person who questions it, he really wants the answer. Sri Ramakrishna answered him, look, you don't see God because you busy yourself with such things as name and scholarship. The mother doesn't come to the child as long as it sucks its toy, a red toy. But then, after a few minutes, the child throws the toy away and cries. Then the mother takes down the rice pot from the hearth and comes running to the child. You are engaged in arbitration. The Divine Mother says to herself, my child over there is now busy arbitrating and is very happy. Let him be. If the child is playing with the toy, mother is happy. Let us not disturb the child. Let him enjoy the toys. Out of love only. Mother's love is limitless. In the meantime, Ishan had been holding Sri Ramakrishna's feet. He said humbly, Master, it is not my will that I should do those things. Sri Ramakrishna said, I know it. This is the Divine Mother's play, her Leela. It is the will of the great enchantress that many should remain entangled in the world. Do you know what it is like? How many are the boats, O mind, that float on the ocean of this world, and how many are those that sink? Again Sri Ramakrishna said, out of 100,000 kites, at best but one or two break free. And thou dost laugh and clap thy hands, O mother, watching them. Only one or two in 100,000 get liberation. The rest are entangled through the will of the Divine Mother. Same thing Sri Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita. Manushyanam sahasreshu yadetamapi kaschin mam veti tattva. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschin mam veti tattvataha yadetamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattva. That is the second line. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Then people keep on struggling. Only very few people among those who struggle knows me really. Like that Lord Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita. And Sri Ramakrishna gives another example. Haven't you seen the game of hide and seek? It is a granny's will that the game should continue. If all touch her and are released, then the playing comes to a stop. Therefore, it is not her will that all should touch her. She enjoys game. Sri Ramakrishna gives another example. You see, in big grain stores, the merchants keep rice in great heaps that touch the ceiling. Beside them, there are heaps of lentils. To protect the grain from the mice, the merchants leave trays of puffed rice and sweetened rice near it. The mice like the smell very much and the sweet taste of these, and so they keep moving around the trays. They don't find the big heaps of grain. Similarly, men are deluded by lust and gold. They do not know where God is. Sri Ramchandra said to Narad, Narad, ask a boon of me. Narad said, O Rama, is there anything I lack? What shall I ask of thee? But if thou must give me a boon, grant that I may have selfless love for thy lotus feet, and that I may not be deluded by the world bewitching Maya. Sri Ramchandra said, ask something else. Narad again replied, O Rama, I don't want anything else. Be gracious to me and see that I have pure love for thy lotus feet. And now Sri Ramakrishna says, I pray to the Divine Mother, O Mother, I don't want name, fame. I don't want the 8 occult powers. I don't want 100 occult powers. O Mother, I have no desire for creature comforts. Please, Mother, grant me the boon that I may have pure love for thy lotus feet. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to the actor. He appreciated him. And then he gave a teaching. Your acting was very good. If a person excels in singing, music, dancing, or any other art, he can also quickly realize God, provided he strives sincerely. Just as you practice much in order to sing, dance and play on instruments, so one should practice the art of fixing the mind on God. One should practice regularly such disciplines as worship, japa, meditation. Then he asked the actor, "Are you married? Any children?" Actor said, "Yes, sir. I had a girl who died. Another child has been born." Master said, "Ah, a death and a birth, and also quickly. You are so young." There is a saying, "My husband died just after our marriage. There are so many nights for me to weep." You are no doubt realizing the nature of worldly happiness. The world is like a hog plum. The hog plum has only pit and skin, and after eating it you suffer from colic, stomach problem. Again Master said, worldly people wander about to the four quarters of the earth. Why? For the sake of happiness. Do they get it? They don't find it anywhere. They only become tired and weary, exhausted, when through their attachment to lust and gold, when through their attachment to these things, they only suffer misery. They feel an urge toward dispassion and renunciation. Most people cannot renounce lust and gold without first enjoying it. There was a couple devotee in Bangalore. They used to come very regularly to the ashram. Once the gentleman was talking to me. He said, "Swamiji, up to 50 years, let me enjoy this world. After this, I will become vanaprasthi." As if it's very easy and he can renounce everything and he can realize God. That means he doesn't want to give up that allurement, tremendous attraction of this world. The world is like an overcast sky that steadily pours down rain. The face of the sun is seldom seen. There is mostly suffering in the world. On account of the cloud of lust and gold, one cannot see the sun. Some people ask me, Sri Ramakrishna said, "Sir, why has God created such a world? Is there no way out for us?" I said to them, "Why shouldn't there be a way out? Take a shelter with God. Take shelter with Him and pray to Him with a yearning heart for a favorable wind, that you may have things in your favor. If you call on Him with yearning, He will surely listen to you." Happiness. We have to understand this word, which is a very tricky word. Happiness chiefly consists in the subjective feeling of enjoyment and satisfaction. The influence of external conditions, however, cannot be ignored. Over and above the external factors, mental makeup of a person is the sine qua non of happiness and peace, because happiness is not so much an object to be sought as a state of mind to be induced. The more we run after fulfillment of desires, the more unhappy and miserable we are. In order to put an end to our unhappiness and miseries, what we should do? We have to subtract our desires by cultivating detachment and self-control. We should incessantly endeavor to fill our minds with positive thoughts in place of negative ones. With the development of positive counter forces, afflictive emotions and thoughts start disintegrating. If we want to be happy, we should constantly try to subdue pride by modesty, hypocrisy by simplicity, greed by contentment, self-exaltation by humility, anger by forgiveness, hatred by love, and fear and worldliness by detachment. When sense organs are controlled and disciplined, it is heaven, and when they are let loose, it is hell. Though happiness mainly consists in the subjective feeling of enjoyment and satisfaction, the influence of external goods and circumstances upon happiness cannot be ignored. Sickness, misfortune, poverty, and so on. All these make persons unhappy. Some of the external conditions that make persons happy are external conditions: the amount of money they have, the material goods they own, their job, the leisure time they have, the role of religion in their lives, the relation with family and friends, and so on. By and large, money and material goods are regarded as the sole positive factors of happiness. We think that more and more wealth we possess, more and more happy we shall be. But this is not true, because all external sources of happiness by nature are uncertain and ephemeral. Money and material goods alone do not seem to improve the sense of well-being and happiness in us. Beyond certain income level, non-pecuniary factors play an important role. For example, having a job is more important for happiness than how much it pays. Money can never purchase happiness, but being in debt generally results in unhappiness. Relations with family and friends are the most important sources of happiness. Role of religion and leisure habits are another significant conditions of happiness. Over and above the monetary, social and religious factors, mental makeup of a person is sine qua non of his being happy, because happiness is not so much an object to be sought as a state of mind to be induced. Subtraction of desires and self-control produce such a state of mind where happiness and serenity descend on their own. The pursuit of happiness is most fatuous of quests, because it is responsible for pursuit of miseries. It is like running after one's own shadow to catch hold of it. Pleasure pursuit is only a mirage of happiness, a false appearance of shade and water seen from parched sand. Really, happiness comes to him who seeks it the least. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more a person chases it, the more it will elude him. But if he turns his attention to other things, it comes to him and sits on his shoulder. As a matter of fact, there is an inverse relation between attainment of happiness and growth of desires. Reckless pursuit and fulfillment of cravings aggravate countless newer desires. The desires in the mind are insatiable and they are compared to fire. Any amount of fuel we give to the fire, we will not satisfy it. This is the nature of fire. The same is true of desire. The more we feed it, the more its appetite grows, the higher and wider is its sweep. God forbade Adam and Eve to eat the fruits of particular trees, but they could not resist the temptation of tasting the forbidden fruits for long. One day, they fulfilled their desire as they could not observe self-control any longer, and the fall started and their innocence and happiness were gone forever. Similarly, Sita in Ramayana, we find spending days of exile quite happily in the forest along with her husband Sri Ramchandra. One day, she saw a golden deer and she was overpowered by the desire of its possession, and the inevitable chain of sorrow and grief befell her. In Buddhism, desires have been regarded as the root cause of sufferings. Desires in the mind cause fear, attachment, greed, anger, and other afflictive emotions. When we fall prey to extreme attachment, we are bound to fall lower and deeper. Attached to the brilliance of the fire, the moth falls into it and destroys itself. In order to put an end of our sufferings, we have to subtract our desires. Subtraction of desires can be attained by means of detachment, which is essential for happiness. Detachment is a disinterested and dispassionate state of mind. Detachment does not mean that the seeker has to leave the material world and sit in the wilderness of a forest or a mountain cave. It can be practiced in the midst of the humdrum of existence of daily life. The seeker resolves to get rid of worldliness. Too much worldliness disturbs tranquility and serenity of mind. We should be in the world, but worldliness should not enter our mind. We should be in the world, but worldliness should not enter our mind. The boat has to be on the water, but the water should not enter the boat, as Sri Ramakrishna has said in the Gospel. The detached persons remain unmoved among all kinds of difficulties and troubles in life, like the ocean that remains unmoved even if hundreds of rivers fall into it. Detachment not only releases happiness and peace, it is also the secret of health. It is the best medical insurance in the world. It is a longevity skill. It enables to give ourselves wholeheartedly to worthwhile works without ever getting depressed and despondent. Detachment gives us the capacity to concentrate fully while on the job and to drop it completely when we walk out the doors. Detachment can be attained by the relentless cultivation of self-control. Academically and spiritually, elite persons realize the need of self-control. But by and large, people are either ignorant of this fact or they do not give any importance to it. First of all, such persons should be taught about the importance of self-control in their individual as well as community lives. We should know that life without self-control is like a rudderless boat on the turbulent waters of a river. Firm determination is the second step. Unless we make a firm determination to act according to our knowledge of truths, good conduct will not follow. Resolution should end in corresponding conduct. Performance of good actions should become our habit. But this is not an easy task. Repeated failures are bound to occur. We should take these failures in sports person spirit. We should not lose heart. Rather, every failure should turn into a new endeavor with a new enthusiasm. The mind has to be gradually and systematically brought under control. The old evil thoughts should be rooted out and the new ones should be prevented from arising. The mind cannot be kept vacant for long. So, we should constantly try to fill the mind with good thoughts and retain such ideas. This effort should continue incessantly because moral and spiritual holiday has a risk of slipping down. So no holidays for spiritual aspirants. If the mind ever slightly strays away from the ideal and becomes diverted, it goes down and down, just like a play ball inadvertently dropped on the staircase bounced down from one step to another, as Adi Shankaracharya has said in the Vivekananda. Self-control is not a child's play. It is not a fad to be tried one day and discarded the next. The persons who are in hurry and looking for shortcut and clever devices are bound to fail. It requires patience and endurance. Despondency is the worst enemy in the process of self-control. So, it should be cast out whenever it presents itself. We should struggle constantly and never give in. If a person succeeds in 10 efforts, I will make 100 efforts. If another person succeeds in 100 efforts, I will make 1,000 efforts. Let every person practice self-control in this manner. Though weak in the beginning, the person will surely be in a strong position one day to practice optimum self-control. The source of unhappiness, in the most instances, is either past experience or future anticipation. We should realize that the past has already happened and cannot be changed by any means, and the future is unpredicted. So, living in the present is the essential key to happiness and peace in life. Our thoughts shape and manipulate our lives. Whatever we think, that we will be. If we think ourselves strong, we will be. Sometimes we become victims of our own thoughts. When thoughts of worry, anger, envy and fear come again and again in our minds, we become anxious, angry, envious and fearful by nature. Human mind is prone to continue thinking process on a particular pattern because of willful creation of tendencies in the past. If an anger thought, for example, overtakes one's mind, it gives rise to many thoughts of similar nature. Thus, thinking process continues till thought of forgiveness puts a curb on it. When thoughts of identical nature find place time and again in anybody's mind, the person becomes prone to that thinking pattern. Every subsequent thought wave has a natural tendency to flow through this tailored mindset. The mind is what it is, only as ordered and set by the different impressions it has gathered in its various transactions in life. Thus, when we have purified the motives and thoughts of our mind, peace and happiness return to us. So we should carve out new thinking patterns in our minds with good thought waves. We should go on repeating the self-suggestive thoughts like we are kind, we never get angry, we are always tolerant. By and by we shall observe that we have no anger at all in our mental makeup. Then why should we choose thoughts that create problems and pains for us? It is like choosing foods that always make us sick. We may do it once or twice, But as soon as we learn which foods do not suit us, we stay away from them. It is same with thoughts. Let us keep the thoughts that destroy our peace and happiness at arm's length. We should further incessantly endeavor to fill our minds with good and sublime thoughts. With the development of positive counterforces, the negative emotions and thoughts start disintegrating. We should constantly try to subdue pride by modesty, hypocrisy by simplicity, greed by contentment, self-exaltation by humility, anger by forgiveness, hatred by love, fear and excessive worldliness by detachment. In the new world of this modern century, the distances have been shortened due to the growth of communication systems. The concept of global village is gaining ground very fast. Today, there is a greater need for liberal and Catholic outlook. There should be no prejudice against any man, woman or child. The Catholicity of heart that includes all and excludes none is in need of the hour. We should embrace life in its entirety. This will help us in learning good things from all sides, for there is goodness in all things of this world. From the earth, we learn both patience and to continue giving crops, minerals, etc., despite all injuries borne by it. From the water, we learn that we must purify others and quench their thirst who come into its contact. From air, we learn that we may move here and there and everywhere and yet remain unattached. Like the fire, we must ever glow this brilliance and splendor of wisdom. Like the sky, we must contain the stars and yet remain beyond them. We can't enjoy embracing life in its fullness if we narrow down our outlook and shut our mind. Mind and parachutes function fully and comprehensively when they are open. Openness of mind, catholicity of heart, and self-control are essential ingredients for a happy and serene life. That is the way to be blissful and tranquil in life. Do you have any questions to ask about controlling mind? All people know. Only thing is they don't have sufficient strength to practice what they know. There lies the weakness. But simply grumbling over weakness is not the solution. Stop grumbling, start acting. That's the way. In a humble way, start. Let it take as much time as it wants. But you must be sincere in your endeavors. Then you can do anything. Anything is possible. And God has given everything. He has provided everything for us. Only we should be wise enough to follow the practical spiritual instructions of the great master. Then we really enjoy this life immensely. Sri Ramakrishna, Gospel, page 969. Sri Ramakrishna fell into an inward mood. Hirananda and Yam were seated near him. There was complete silence in the room. The master's body was being racked with indescribable pain. The devotees could not bear the sight of this illness, but somehow the master made them forget his suffering. He sat there, his face beaming as if there were no trace of illness in his throat. The devotees had placed flowers and garlands before him, as a loving offering. He picked up a flower and touched with it first his head, and then his throat, heart, and navel. To the devotees he seemed a child playing with flowers. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell the devotees that his divine visions and moods were accompanied by the rising of a spiritual current inside his body. Now he talked to M. Master said, I don't remember when the current went up. Now I am in the mood of a child. That's why I am playing with the flowers this way. Do you know what I see now? I see my body as a frame made of bamboo strips and covered with a cloth. The frame moves, and it moves because someone dwells inside it. Again, I see the body to be like a pumpkin with the sweets scooped out. Inside this body, there is no trace of passion or worldly attachment. It is all very clean inside. And it became very painful for Sri Ramakrishna to talk further. He felt very weak. M quickly guessed what the master wanted to tell the devotees and said, and you are seeing God inside yourself. Master said, both inside and outside. The indivisible Satchidananda. I see it, both inside and outside. It has merely assumed this sheath, meaning his body, for a support and exists both inside and outside. I clearly perceive this. M and Hirananda listened intently to these words about his exalted state of God consciousness. A few moments later, Sri Ramakrishna looked at them and resumed the conversation. Master said, you all seem to me to be my kinsmen. I do not look on any of you as a stranger. I see you all as many sheets, and the heads are moving. I notice that when my mind is united with God, the suffering of the body is left aside. Now I perceive only this. The indivisible Satchidananda is covered with skin, and this sore in the throat is on one side of it. The master again fell silent. A few minutes later he said, the attributes of matter are superimposed on spirit, and the attributes of spirit are superimposed on matter. Therefore, when the body is ill, a man says, I am ill. Hirananda wanted to understand what the master had just said. So, M told him, when hot water scalds the hand, people say that the water scalds, but the truth is that it is the heat that scalds. Hirananda to the master, please tell us why a devotee of God suffers. Master said, it is the body that suffers. Sri Ramakrishna seemed about to say something more. Hirananda and M eagerly awaited his words. Sri Ramakrishna said, do you understand? M said to Hirananda in whisper, the body suffers for the purpose of teaching men. His life is like a book of reference. In spite of so much physical suffering, his mind is 100% united with God. Hirananda said, yes, it is like Christ's crucifixion. But still the mystery remains. Why should he, of all people, suffer like this? M said, the Master says it is the will of the Divine Mother. And this is how she is sporting through his body. The two devotees were talking in whispers. Sri Ramakrishna asked Hirananda by a sign what M was talking about. So since Hirananda could not understand the sign, Sri Ramakrishna repeated it. Hirananda said, he says that your illness is for the teaching of men. Master said, but that's only his guess. To M and Hirananda, Sri Ramakrishna said, my mood is changing. I think that I should not say to everyone, may your spiritual consciousness be awakened. People are so sinful in the Kali Yuga. If I awaken their spiritual consciousness, I shall have to accept the burden of their sins. M said to Hirananda, he will not awaken people's spiritual consciousness except at the right time. When a person is ready, he will awaken his spiritual consciousness. We shall stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. Old name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the ties of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. How I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.